know everybody in this room wants to say hi to is Benjamin C. Bradley. So when my mother was telling me, and now Lewis was telling me not to take that job on the police, it was Bradley who told me to take it. I would not confess that if Kay were around. I want you to know that.
Well, I got nothing to say. Except that I had the most beautiful time ever.
Also, somewhere in the back of this room are three people only one or two of you have ever met. And that is Saad Alizi, Omar Fakeki, and the guy Rajiv calls Omar 2 from our Baghdad bureau, standing in the alley. Are you guys Those three and their colleagues kept a couple dozen of you safe while you were over in Iraq, and a lot more who are not here. Peter Pearl, Marcia Kramer, Judy Haveman, thank you so much for this. What a... Now, there's four other people in the front row that I also want to introduce. One, the first is my wife, Amanda Bennett. Most of you know we met on the Pulitzer board, and she voted for all of you. All right. Now, the other three people who have to stand up are my daughter, Laura O'Shaughnessy, her husband, Tim O'Shaughnessy, and my son, Will Gray. Tonight has caused me to reconsider a lifelong policy. I told Downey more than 30 years ago that I would stand up for any reporter, editor, or photographer at the Washington Post, except Gene Weingart. I may have to think twice about this one. I don't know. All my life, I remember standing in a room like this in 1979 when my mother made me the publisher, and I said, my mother's given me everything except an easy act to follow. I've spent my life being compared to Kay Graham, Phil Graham, Gene Meyer, and my buddy Bo Jones, the other publisher of the Post, who's here somewhere in the back. And tonight, all I have to do is top John Harris. So this is relatively simple. I want to say one word to those of you in the room, and there's quite a few who are still active on the staff of the Washington Post. I'm never writing any of you a damn note again. So I remember the day, which Levy talked about, when I came to work in this newsroom for the first time, making the transition from reader of the Post, which I've been all my life, to reporter. I learned to read in the right way. On the sports page of the Washington Post, right, George? Reading the column of Shirley Povich, whose heir, Tom Boswell, is here tonight, and reading about the bright future prospects of the Washington Senators. But I came to work here January 6, 1971. Katharine Graham was the publisher, Ben Bradley was executive editor, and Howard Simons was about to become managing editor. Not bad. We would publish the Pentagon Papers story 6 months later. I joined what seemed to be an amazing staff. Dave Broder, whose widow Ann is here tonight, Herb Block, Shirley, Meg Greenfield were some of the best-known people, but there were so many, were giants. Woodward joined that December. He's a kid to me, but it still irritates me that I was not the best reporter hired in 1971. I wanted to be a good reporter, but I was nervous at the prospect. I was in the company of all these others who've done it for so long. I was unsure of how I was doing. Luckily, there was an older man on the staff who seemed to have covered everything and know just how to do it, and was a real friend to all us younger reporters. He seemed to have been there forever. His name was Martin Weil. When I said hi to you tonight, I saw Carol Murphy, who scared us to death by being in Kuwait City when Saddam was there. I saw so many of you who covered wars like Kaiser and Osnos here in the front row, and so many more. Big elections, big national crises, so many of them, Pulitzer-winning stories. But as Marty said, as usual, summing things up perfectly, those 10,000 papers are really what it's all about. It wasn't just the highlights and the big days and the Pulitzers and whatnot. It was the joy of working on it every day. And the little stories as well as the big ones, and the ones that shone a light on some wonderful person or some terrible person, and we did a little bit of both. Time and technology have changed. And every one of my 1971 heroes has left the newsroom, except, of course, for Martin Weil. Now it's time for me to go too. But tomorrow morning, I'll pick up the Post with the same pleasure and expectation I felt in 1971. The editor is Marty Baron, who couldn't be with us tonight, but I think he's perhaps the best of his time. The managing editor is Kevin Merida, and 3/4 of you in this room know him, and I'm sorry for the ones of you who don't. You know the kind of man and the kind of editor he is. Fred Hyatt is a giant, as Meg was, and a worthy successor. The publisher is Catherine Weymouth. And I want to tell everybody in this room how brave, principled, and unselfish she has been in the last 9 months. I've known every publisher of the Post since 1933. Only Bradley and I in this room can say that, including Gene Meyer, Phil Graham, Catherine Graham, and Bo Jones, and they would all tell you the same thing. This team, led by Catherine and Marty, is a wonderful team to lead the Post into the future. My mother always said that owners and publishers are among the less important people in the newspaper as the reader sees it. And then there's all of you. Reporters, columnists, photographers, and today I have to say bloggers, videographers, and God knows who else. Whose work the reader will take in with their coffee tomorrow. I have loved working with you. I'm looking forward to picking up tomorrow's Post. I know it'll be a great paper. Thank you.